Hi, and welcome to this episode. What are we going to talk about on this episode? We are going to talk about gluten. That word that you see on many foods, gluten free this, gluten free that. Is it really necessary? Do we need to avoid gluten? Well, what is gluten? And what could it be doing to your body? What are some signs that will tell you that you need to stay away from gluten? And do we need to have gluten? Is it going to harm you if you stay away from it? Let's answer those questions. So, what is gluten? Gluten is the protein that is found in grains. Now, many of those grains people do not associate with gluten, but it does have. And there's many myths. So I was recently reading the book No Grain, No Pain. Wouldn't that be awesome? No pain. Do you know what one of the number one things that people go to the doctor for is for chronic pain? They have so much stuff out there for the chronic pain, but is your doctor telling you to take sugar, gluten, lectins out of your diet and see if that helps? Or are they just giving you a prescription, writing you up a script on the tablet and say, here, try this? Or are they giving you some injections? And some of that stuff comes with many, many side effects. I encourage you to look it up. So, in this book that I was reading, that goes over some myths about gluten and some of those that we were just talking about. And it says gluten is found only in wheat, barley, and rye. Is that true? No, we're going to go over some other things that gluten is found in. Also, if you're gluten sensitive, is it safe to eat corn and rice? We're going to say it probably is not. So is it to say that everybody is has a problem with all the glutens? Because there's different types of gluten that are in these different products. Also, another myth, eating dairy products is safe because they're gluten free. Well, they are gluten free, but they can mimic gluten. And then another thing to think about, if you don't have celiac disease, then what are you worrying about gluten for? You don't have celiac disease, you can eat it. No, so there is something called gluten sensitivity that you can suffer from. And many, many, many people do suffer from it. And it comes out in many forms, which we'll go over. And then also some of the testing for gluten sensitivity, is it always 100% accurate? Because they say you don't have celiac disease, does that mean you don't have it? Not necessarily. You can still have it. It's sometimes hard to test for, as well as the gluten sensitivity. That's why a lot of times it's good to just remove it from your diet. And so many people get into gluten-free processed foods. So would those be the way to go? You kind of really want to stay away from those, or really, really examine the ingredients to make sure it doesn't have grains in it and it's truly gluten-free. And you want to make sure that they don't replace that gluten with a bunch of sugar like they did back in the 80s when they were replacing fat with a bunch of sugar that just made everybody have all kinds of issues in their tissues. Now, let's go over some of those grains. So we already said wheat, rye, barley. Those are the three main ones. And then we have oats. Remember, I was talking about, if you watch the video on lectins, we talked about oats, oatmeal. And Dr. Gundry said with those, the lectins that are found in the oats, you cannot pressure cook to get rid of them. So if you are highly sensitive to any of these foods, I would definitely just ditch the oatmeal. And then we have millet, corn, rice, sorghum, teff. And out of those, rice has the least amount of gluten, but you may be sensitive. What's an alternative is just to the regular white rice that they've enriched and done all this stuff to. You can get organic wild rice. That would be a better choice if you just wanted to have rice in your life. Um, Also with the corn, that can be dangerous. So, I mean, I know a lot of people like to eat corn. There's corn chips, corn flakes, and different stuff the tortilla chips that contain corn, the tortilla flours, but you can find alternatives to those using coconut flour. There's also some good brands out there that use alternatives, that they have family issues, so they've gotten a formula to get rid of all the gluten and bring you a product that's a lot safer. But it's always the safest is making it at home. So coconut flour, if you're not sensitive to almonds, sometimes almond flour also. And then you think as a superfood, quinoa. So that also can mimic gluten, and buckwheat can mimic gluten. So you may think, well, I can just have those all natural whole grains. If you're very, very sensitive, you don't want to do that. You do want to take it out. So, what could be some of the signs that you may be suffering from gluten sensitivity? They're in different forms, whether it's your gut, your head, your skin. So, you may get migraine headaches, tension headaches, cluster headaches. You may have irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, colitis, diarrhea, constipation. You may have acid reflux. So there's different signs and symptoms when we look at the skin. You may have vitiligo, the discoloration of your skin, psoriasis, eczema, or just plain irritation where you have a rash, which I had. It didn't itch at all, but a discoloration on my back. The the dermatologist wasn't even able to tell me what it was, but come to find out it was due to the gluten. I also would get little bumps on my elbow here. As soon as I stopped the gluten, they went away. So what does that tell you? It has to be the gluten. You know, there's still some skin issues that I'm trying to get rid of completely because of all the stuff that you take. And then you think about it, you have birth control pills now that they say get rid of hormonal acne. But is it really worth it? I took birth control for years and it really wreaked havoc on my system and my body. I'm trying to get my hormones back and also just do all the dietary changes to get the clearer skin that I want. But with all the other stuff, it damages your liver, your kidneys. I mean, I don't have chronic kidney disease, but my liver was damaged and it's one of the easiest things to heal. So, any little changes that you can make so it doesn't affect all of these different areas. And what about asthma? I know I was affected years ago with asthma, I'd be in the hospital and everything else, but a lot of the foods are causing that. Yes, there are some environmental things. I know that is what can hit me. Usually, the foods I can get rid of. There are some things I've got to watch, and if I had it in something, it can cause a problem. But just think if you can breathe better just by eliminating some foods from your diet. And then also, what are a few other things as far as some of those autoimmune diseases? We already named a few, but then you have the joint, the arthritises, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, pain, um, also restless leg syndrome, vertigo. So there's a lot of things that can affect you that may just be the foods that you're digesting. And all these grains, they make it so you do not absorb the vitamins and the minerals that are so essential in our day-to-day life with energy and all that. So if they're robbing you from this, you want to eliminate them so they're not. And again, with those that have joined in with October and started doing no sugar, I have found that many have gained benefits just within a week, 2 weeks. They were having either no headaches, less headaches, inflammation going down, not feeling as tired, some of that brain fog going away. And with that inflammation, it was getting rid of some of that pain, people wanting to move more because they did have the fatigue. But if you're trying to, you eliminated those sugars, you're getting rid of the inflammation and you're starting to absorb some of those nutrients. It does help a great deal each week by week. Also, losing some of those cravings for sugar. Awesome. Those are awesome things. And the one side effect from that is some people are losing weight. So, is that a great side effect? Better than all those side effects that you can get from some of the medication. Because some of these grains, too, they cause mood disorders, whether it be depression or forgetfulness or just brain fog in general. And taking those out can help. Whereas you take these medications with all the side effects. I know one of my asthma said can cause death. So I threw that out. I ditched it, never took it again. And this was years and years ago because I don't take anything now. I'm pretty healthy. And if I do need to remove something else from my diet, I listen to my body and remove it. Again, do you want to just have to go to the dermatologist and get all this topical stuff or pills that you're popping that can have side effects? And I encourage you to look at the package that comes with that, like I did on one of my medications and got rid of it. So look at the packages, see the side effects, and maybe this might encourage you to just take the food out, do an elimination diet, take all these foods out, the sugar, the lectins, and those glutens. And then after it's been out of your system for a while and you start feeling better, add one thing in at a time to see what could be the culprit, what could be causing you that. Um, and then just take that out. Just make sure not to do too many at a time. So we want to be able to decrease that inflammation in our body and get rid of, we don't want to be there getting injections for pain. So if there's something that we can do ourselves, like what does it cost to take something out of your diet? Nothing at all. And in future videos, I do want to go over fasting and those benefits. And I have talked to several people that have been fasting and have been reaping those benefits. So just incorporating all these different things can just make you feel so much better. And if you do have a slip up, just get back up, do what you know, and continue on, because that little slip up, put it behind you. Because once you get back on that road, that better eating and wellness, you'll just be feeling better, and it'll be less and less because it just becomes easier and easier. You will get rid of those cravings. So I encourage you, don't have a slip up and stop. Keep doing it. You will eventually get there. And who's to say in the future, you may have another one. We are human. We are human and we will make mistakes here and there. We try our best not to, but we will. But I just encourage you to just make those changes, even if you have to start slow. Like some people told me they have to start slow. Slow is better than no go. So just do something, whether it's today, tomorrow, whether it's you've got a date, November 1st, start it. Get those sugar, the lectins, the gluten out of your system. Figure out what's going to work well with you. And I encourage you, find a partner, find a good friend or a loved one, family member that you know to do this journey with you, because I know you want to be able to enjoy their company. And let me know how you're doing, if it's benefiting you, if it's helping you. I'm going to provide some more videos and different things to encourage you and help you to get on that road to healthy eating and lifestyle. So please share, subscribe, and like. And I'll see you on that next video. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it.